Kwame Johnson Harris, and this is
Dan and Ella.
and we are here to present with you today.
Duke
Today. We have so many cool exhibitions and stories just waiting for you. So, stay tuned.
In this segment, we'll be discussing the new DC crime bill. We have went on and asked a few people some questions to get their personal views and opinions on the topic.
The DC crime bill is reversing progressive reforms with a sweeping public safety bill, raising penalties for theft and gun crimes, and bowing to some demands from the police union.
We've went on and asked a few people some questions to get their personal views and opinions on the topic. Okay, we're here with Miss Francis, and I wanted to know, have you been personally affected, or do you know anybody that has been affected by the crime bill?
Well, being personally affected, I guess I could say my car was almost stolen. And I know that the reason it was almost stolen is because there's a culture of car thefts going on in DC, and something needs to be done. And so that aspect of the crime bill, really cracking down on people who are, stealing cars or carjacking and, all that kind of wild behavior. Plus with the guns, all the murders and everything that have been on the rise since last year. I'm glad that they're cracking down on that. I'm a little ambivalent about what they're doing with DNA. I think that that's something that should not be taken lightly. When someone's DNA, it doesn't just affect them, it affects everybody they're related to. And I don't know if that's if that's going against people's civil liberties or their constitutional rights to not be, to have privacy. I don't know if that's, something that they may need to go back and consider.
And another question we had, so do you think it was a good thing to pass the bill? Like, do you think it'll help DC get better?
Well, I'm hoping that it will help DC get better. They needed to do something. If crime is rising, you've got to stop it. And it may not be a perfect bill, but it's at least a step in some direction. Hopefully it's the right direction.
Okay, thank you. Back to you.
Hello, today I am here with
Kanaya,
and what department are you in?
Museum Studies.
Okay, that is perfect. So today we are here to ask her about the main event, the main reason why we are here for this newscast. And it is about the DC crime bill and how it has affected her and her perspective on it and how it affects us as Black individuals. So my first question for you today, Kanaya, is, I'm so sorry, have you or anybody that you know been affected by the increased penalties or the new rules within the new crime bill?
One of my mutual friends has been affected by the youth curfew, not the crime bill itself, which the youth curfew happened around October, November of last year.
Okay. And then my other question is, do you think that it will help, that this new crime bill and all the laws and stuff that they have put in place will help reduce the crime in DC?
I personally don't think that it will help reduce the crime. I think their focus is always on like money standpoints or like campaigns and stuff like that. I think they put their focus in or on the wrong things. I think they should be funding youth programs, after school programs, etc.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing your perspective, Kanaya. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.
And we're back. In this segment, we'll be discussing the new drug-free zones.
In designated drug-free zones, police can require people gathered in groups of 2 or more to leave an area if they are believed to be involved in illegal drug activity. And now we take you to the interviews.
Hello. Who are you with?
All right, I'm Dane Sims.
Okay. We wanted to get your opinion on the new drug-free zones around the city. So how do you think they will affect the city, or do you think they'll make a positive impact of illegal drug use or distribution in the city?
I kind of have mixed feelings about this initiative. One, I think it's good because our kids, our youth, does not need to see, drug distribution throughout the community. They like to say that, you're a product of your environment. And the more our youth sees things like that, the more they'll consider that to be normal activity, normal behavior. And that's one thing we want to, refrain our youth from engaging in. However, it's a bit contradicting when they say that the goal is not to make arrests if people fail to comply with this initiative. However, if you fail to comply, they say that it can lead up to arrest. So it's a bit contradicting in that sense. We want to clear our spaces. Not sure what those spaces look like. Are we talking about Ward 7? Are we talking about Ward 8? We don't necessarily know. It just seems like certain people are complaining about distribution and possession happening in their areas, but does that include the entire city when it comes to public spaces? So I say, you know, they want to remove it from certain areas, but then it'll take place in other areas. I don't think that it'll stop what's happening. I just think that it'll just look different. So I'm not sure if it's a bit conflicting. I'm conflicted with the whole idea, but I'm just hoping that it does make a positive impact, especially when it comes to our youth and our community.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. So today we are here with
Gaston.
and
Locke.
and this is for the sports part of the newscast. And we just wanted to know, what was you guys' experience throughout the game, and how do you think it helped overall? Like, just you.
Experience. I guess going into the game, the students were trying to like figure out a way, because we know we weren't losing this game to a bunch of old heads. So we just had to work together. In the beginning, we wasn't working together. We was down 7-0, but then we figured it out. We was making shots, and that's my experience. First half.
My experience, I think that it was a really good experience, you know what I'm saying? I thought they had us in the first half. It was looking bad, but then, you know what I'm saying? As we started, like, you know, working as a team and things of that nature, it ended up benefiting us, and it just made us actually win like we were supposed to, because they wasn't even supposed to get that far.
Okay. And so another thing I wanted to know is, y'all were struggling in that first half. Just like you said, you didn't want them old heads to get on you, but they was on you. So we just wanted to know, how did you guys bring it back in that second half? How did y'all really round it up and make it possible to win that game?
I guess our scorers really came through. Dexton made a couple threes, you know.
Okay.
I started locking in, started making shots, and Kyrie too as well, Jaden as well. You know, we all just start actually landing our shots instead of just throwing up anything. So once we put the points on the board, the numbers were not.
Yeah, I think that, like, you know what I'm saying? I think our problem was everybody in the first half wanted to be the main character. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as soon as we started, like, actually being a team and passing the ball to each other when somebody was open or just making the smarter decisions as a team, we ended up winning like we were supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's totally amazing. And so I also wanted to know, how do you think this experience between faculty and students really helped build and mold and reshape the experiences and the bonds we have at Ellington?
For me personally, teachers that were in the student versus staff game, like, I see them throughout the day and I have conversations with them now that I didn't have before. So I guess it feels like it formed a bond and like of communication. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I look at the people that was working there, or that was in the student, the staff that was in the student and staff game completely different now, and I respect them a whole lot more than I did. And I think, like, yeah, that's another thing, like, when it comes to, like, yeah, just a bonding experience when you play sports with people. So, like, yeah, like, when I see people, like, now I see him in a whole different, especially Mr. Thorne, I see him in a whole different light. So, yeah, I definitely feel like it was beneficial for, like, you know, like, the staff and the students' interactions.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for sharing that with us. That's a wrap. So, based off of the game overall, we know that the faculty did lose. And so we were wondering, y'all did very good at the beginning. So what do you think you could have did to stay up in the last half of the game?
Me personally, I think we needed one practice and a little bit of running to do. You know, me personally, but I think we did good just to come out there and work with the kids, and you know, I think you knew the kids had more energy. You knew that, so
Right.
it was all right.
How do you think this experience between faculty and students helped build a stronger community at Duke Ellington as a faculty?
I think it was good. I think it was good from my point of view. I think it was good because the kids kind of learned the difference of, you know, not being on and just, you know, being freely playing basketball. Something I think they love to do, and I think the staff needed that too. You know, so I think it was good.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Rashad, Mr. Williams. Yeah, that's it.
That will be all for today's story. Once again, I'm your host, Dan Allen.
And I'm Salome Johnson Harris.
And thank you for tuning in. This is
Do Today.